Well, to bring you up to speed now with the very latest, cluster bombs have been seen being detonated in Kharkiv after a series of explosions. They were captured on camera. This is Ukraine's second largest city. To get reaction and analysis on this, I'm joined now by Riho Terras, who is a member of the European Parliament and the former Commander-in-Chief of Estonia's Defence Force. Thank you very much for your time.
Good evening.
More explosions in Kharkiv. What is your response to the use of reportedly cluster bombs?
Well, it only shows that Putin is cornered. He is has not succeeded with his attacks against Kiev and Kharkiv. The slight success he had in south, so he was not able to change the government in Kiev, which was one of his objectives, which he called denazification. The demilitarization is not going very well because the Ukrainian army, but not only army, Ukrainian people are fiercely fighting, defending their country, defending their values, defending our values, and they are very, very brave. They can be only admired. And now Putin is using vacuum bomb or thermal bombs against the civilian population and missile launchers. And as you said, rightly, cluster bombs, which is forbidden by Ottawa Convention.
Riho, the UN Security Council has been holding an emergency meeting following what's happening in Ukraine now, and also, of course, following an emergency special session of the UN General Assembly on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. What is the best outcome of this meeting?
Well, since Russia is a Security Council member with a veto right, they already have used the veto, and I have not seen China with other nations to support. So I think that will not bring too much on the very end.
So almost time wasting, to be honest with you.
Yes, I guess that of course we need to use all possible diplomatic ways, but what is actually needed is support Ukrainians with weapons, ammunition, and of course political support, which has been significant in Europe. People in Europe capitals have been on the streets. In Germany, there were today 100,000 people supporting Ukraine. That is important, but for sure the most important thing are the javelins, missiles, and ammunition.
An international criminal court prosecutor is set to open an investigation into possible war crimes or crimes against humanity in Ukraine. How much of an influence will this news have on Putin's behaviour, if any?
I don't see that happening. Russia has not signed these documents, but it is more for our own conscience, and I think it is important to show him as a war criminal what he is, but it will not influence his behavior. I don't think so. I think we have to rely on Ukrainian people fighting, men and women, soldiers or not soldiers, fighting Kalashnikovs in hand against the aggressor.
You recently put out a tweet saying the spirit of the Ukrainian people has helped them fight not only for their country, but for European values as well. What do you mean by that, General?
I mean that a democratically elected government of Ukraine has decided that they want to join European Union and they want to have the NATO's door open. They even have not applied for NATO membership, but they just wanted to be sure that they have the possibility if they want to, and no other third nation can interrupt. And today, Ukrainian very brave president has signed the application for European Union, and President Zelensky has shown himself as very brave, very broad-minded politician trying to have negotiations with Russia, open his hands, but very strictly saying only if their bombing stops and if the Russian forces will withdraw from Ukraine, he's ready to negotiate.
I know that Russia and Ukraine officials have met, but I understand Putin sent his arts minister as opposed to his defence minister. Is he serious then at all about peace talks when he says that he's willing to negotiate and have more discussions with Ukraine diplomats?
Well, I don't think so, because in his speech today, he has again said that he wants three things. He wants the Nazification of Ukrainian government, demilitarization. So it is these requirements are not possible to take seriously. Nobody will accept them, and therefore it is just way, I think, gaining time. But hopefully Ukraine gains time as well, and their delivery of weapons, which European Union decided yesterday in the worth of 450 million, will arrive on time as well.
It sounds like a very dangerous suggestion, I suppose, or road to be going down, where we're now having to advocate for women and men to be armed in Ukraine. Is that because the situation is so dire that's the only option for those who choose to stay?
Well, I think the spirit of the nation is so high, and they really want to fight for their country, and they are ready. And it shows how much their government president is trusting its people, handing over thousands and thousands of weapons to the people, and the people are not misusing them. They are using them to defend their country, their nation, their values, their understanding of the world. So I think we should admire Ukrainians. And already today, Putin has not won, because he wanted to do it in 48 hours. It didn't work out. Now he has to bomb large areas of Kharkiv and Kiev, but still the defenders are still bravely defending their country.
General, as a member of the European Parliament, are you satisfied other European nations are doing enough to help Ukraine?
I'm positively surprised by a response which we decided yesterday and day before yesterday. Nobody actually believed that Europe is ready to really support Ukrainians with military means, fighter jets, missiles, etc. And the sanctions, they came out much stronger as these sanctions we have discussed before the war. So these sanctions against the Central Bank of Russia, I think, will hurt Russian oligarchs and the whole financial system significantly. Whether it causes Putin, I'm not sure.
The problem for Putin is that the more this war continues and the more sanctions that occur, the greater isolated he becomes. And is that a danger for the world?
You're a cornered rat, as he discussed it once himself, is dangerous, but he is losing. I mean, he is on the losing path. He will disappear from the history, and he will end up in the court. I really believe that.
How do you think this war is going to end? Is it going to get worse over the coming weeks before it gets better? What's your sense right now?
I see that every next day, especially tonight and tomorrow, are significant because of their bombings right now. Whether the Ukrainians are able to defend and stay calm is in Ukraine, and they are really they really are worried about these say cluster bombs and rockets falling on Kharkiv or Kiev and other places. But they told me they are ready to fight. Hopefully they are.
Well, we wish all the people well. Riho Terras, Member of the European Parliament, thank you very much for your time and for your insight today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and stay safe.